crafted by us. Just grab this opportunity in this community crafted by us. Yeah, in this community crafted by us.
Hi, welcome to the 10th installment of our 12 Days of Christmas series. I'm Michelle Johnson from Crafted by Us, and today I'd like to share with you how to make a pretty cool embroidered felt Christmas ornament. So I want to show you first what we're going to be making. This is an embroidered ornament made with felt. There's the back. And let me make a disclaimer first before we get started. I am not an expert in stitching, so some of the stuff I kind of just went with it and made what I kind of felt looked neat, and I think that's perfectly fine. So the first thing we need to do is cut out our shape. We're just going to cut out the top shape here. Now to cut out your shape, the easiest thing that I mean we like to keep it easy, right? So what I did is I got this round object and turned it and traced a circle just lightly. I'm going to cut it out so you're not going to see this circle. And then also we want to remember we want this top piece here. So when I get to the top, I'm just going to add this freehand, okay? So I'm just lightly going around this. Just give me an idea of where the circle is. Like that. And then I'm just going to draw the top part out just to give me an idea. Like that. And now I'm going to cut this off. I'm not going to cut it out all the way just yet because I like to have this extra bit here to hold on to while I'm doing my stitching. Do the French knots first, and I'm going to do them right across the top here. And what I'm using, I have this, I think it's 2-ply embroidery floss. It's really thick and cotton. And then I have, this is stock yarn. So basically what I did is I just raided my embroidery floss and my yarn pile and found something that kind of went with this. And that is what I'm using. So just use whatever you've got and whatever will work for you. And then I've got an embroidery needle here. Cut a length off like this. And thread my needle. Alright. So when I come up, I'm going to come up through the back. I'm going to leave a tail so that as I'm doing my stitches, I'll stitch over the tail and hold it in so I don't have any knots back here. So I'm just eyeballing this. There's no exact science. The only thing is, don't bring your stitches all the way to the border because you're going to want to trim the border, and we're going to add this one around the edge at the very end. So I'm going to come in a bit from the inside here and make my French knot. Now I'm just using, and this is just felt, it's kind of solid. You could even use craft felt for this. I'm going to leave this tail here, and as my stitches come through the back, I'll look for it so I can cover it up. So basically, what I'm doing for this French knot is I have my needle, and I'm going to wrap my thread around it. I like to wrap it around 3 times. I've seen people do it twice. So I'm going to wrap it around 3 times, and then I'm going to go back into my felt, close to where I came out of, like this. And I'm going to hold that down and just pull this through. And when I pull it through, that thread that I'm pulling through will actually hold those wraps that is wrapped around my needle in place, okay? So I'm going to pull that through like that. And there is the first one. And I just need to do, I'm going to do 3 more here. So I'm finishing up on my last one here. And now what I want to do is on the back here, I'm just going to wind this thread through the back, through a couple of the stitches in the back, and then trim it. This will hold it in place so we don't have any knots. Alright, so let me show you the front. Okay, now let's do the cross stitch. For the cross stitch, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this yarn, and I am going to unroll this to the point where I get some pink. I thought I had some pink. Must have. Okay, so there's the green, hopefully, okay. So I'm going to cut a section of this off. And thread my needle. And now that I have some stitches, I can just go ahead and weave this through. Let's see. Weave this through the back like this just to hold my end in. This is just so we don't have knots and it lays nice and flat when we get to the final step. Alright, so now what I'm going to do for the cross stitch is I'm in the middle here, so I'm going to come up right there, and I'm going to go diagonal to there. And then I'm going to drop straight down. See where I came out right here? I'm going to drop straight down to here, even with this one. And then I'm going to go diagonal and make the X. Like that. And I'm just going to continue on this way until I have a row. Now for the last stitch, I'm just going to be doing a back stitch. I've already got my yarn coming from the back, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up through the top, go this direction, and then underneath come up right here and come like this. So it's kind of working in a circle almost. So I'm going to go right here. For me, the hardest thing about this stitch is keeping it straight. So there's my first stitch there, and I'm just going to come up from the back like that and go back close to that hole there, pull it through. So you can see it's making a line, and it's doing pretty much the same on the back side there as well. So we're just going to continue on this way all the way across the bottom. This is a quick and easy stitch. So there you have that. I like it. Now, let me go ahead and weave my ends in here for this one. We'll go back that way and trim this. Now what I need to do is cut this out. I'm going to cut as close to the line as I can, without actually leaving any of the fabric that shows where I drew my pattern. and trim the top nice and straight. Alright, now what I need to do is get some background fabric, and this is going to go for my background. What I like to do for this is I need to give myself, center it, but give myself some room on the edge, because we're going to leave a little bit of this edge showing so you can see it for a little bit more detail. And I think for me it's a little bit difficult to try to hold this in place and stitch. So I've got some of this fabric tack, fabric glue, and I'm just going to put some on the back of my item that I just embroidered, just like this. And I'm being careful not to put it in an area where I'm going to be sewing my stitch around the edge. And then right now is a good time to grab a length of whatever you're working with. And so I just have this. I'm going to tie this. And this is going to be the hanger for the ornament. So let's pull that. I'm going to trim this off just a bit. Now I'm going to put the hanger for the ornament right here. And basically what I'm doing is just making a sandwich. I'm going to flip this over and lay it flat like that. Remember, I'm leaving an edge here. And then I want to let this dry for a few minutes before I continue on. And I'm going to put this on top just to kind of give it a bit of pressure so it'll dry nice and flat. So this has sat here long enough. And just like I did before, I'm just going to roughly cut this out. So it's easier to work with. Now I've got my thread that I'm just gonna do a running stitch around the edge. So I'm just gonna go up from the back, across, down, across, up, across, and so on, all the way around. I've put a knot in the end of my thread because now I don't have anywhere to weave through. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this apart just a little bit and run my thread through here so you can't see it, and then hide the knot like that. And now I'm going to come up right here like this, and I'm just basically kind of drawing like you would with a pencil. I'm drawing with a thread, and I'm just drawing a line around the edge of my ornament shape. There we go. See that? So I'm going to continue doing this until I get rid of this knot, until I get all the way around to where I started. So I'm finishing up here, and to finish this I want to hide the end in, so I'm going to go up just through the one layer like this and pull this through. And then I'm just going to peel this back just a little bit and make, a little tiny anchor stitch that doesn't go all the way through the fabric, just to hold my stitches in place here. I'm going to pull this through and make a little knot. Okay, and then I'm just going to, actually what I want to do now is now that I have a knot, I'm just going to run this through a couple of the stitches that I made, like that, and pull the end in, and that'll tuck the tail in. And now I can just trim this real close, and I'm not going to worry about it coming apart. Okay, so there's that. And the last thing that we need to do is just go with your scissors and trim around the edge. And I kind of like doing it like this because it gives it a nice border, and a cool contrast, especially if you're using, you know, that nice felt like this. You get to still see it even though it's the back piece. Don't cut your hanger off. And there you go. There's one ornament, and then let me just show you the other one that I made ahead of time.
Crafted by us, a show with commonality. Crafted by us, where ideas become reality. Crafted by us, just grab this opportunity. In this community, crafted by us. Yeah, in this community, crafted by us.